Hey, Brianna, thanks for making this happen. What are we doing today?
So today we have Brandon and Gino here. We are all located in the New Hudson building in New Hudson, Michigan. And Brandon owns Novellas, which is a really fun and delicious pizza place. And then Gino's just opened up a Jonna's location, which has a lot of really good bar food, and they're known for more sports style pub and grill. Is that a way to put it?
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, and we're all in this building together, and I wanted to bring us here and really just kind of talk about how we've all been navigating COVID. Not necessarily focusing so much on COVID, but focusing more on starting and running a business during the pandemic and what that looks like while people are kind of scared to go out and not knowing if they should be arriving at different places or not. Brandon is opening up a location in Milford as well. And, we opened up here. We went from photo booth to video in August. And, Gino, you opened up in September?
No, in August.
August. Nice. Yeah. So lots of navigations. Either of you want to touch on that to start out?
Yeah, it's been the weirdest year, most definitely in business that I can remember, and been in the industry now for 16 years. It's been interesting. You have to be able to change on the fly. You have to be able to just kind of roll with the punches and accept what's happening and try to make it the best of it that you possibly can. That's really the only option you have right now. It's not the most fun thing to do, but as a business owner, as you guys all know, you have to be able to adapt to what's going on around you. And so it's been a good learning experience, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I think just starting up any business in general already has so many leaps and obstacles and challenges that come with it. But, given the situation this year, it's extra leaps and obstacles.
Oh, yeah. I mean, starting our business in August and working through the pandemic and then following all these new rules and regulations. And then, and a lot of people are looking for a way just to come in and dine in without getting us in trouble.
Yeah.
But we just can't take that chance. But it just sucks because, we're a dine-in business. I mean, we have to adapt to carry out. And, we're going on social media just to try to get our carry-outs to go and our cocktails to go. And, and hopefully by February we can open up and get back things to normal and do what we got to do to strive through our business, right? I mean, we got goals we got to meet, we got expectations for the year, but hopefully this doesn't last, longer than what we hope. So hopefully we can open up and get back to some normalcy.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing cocktails to go.
That's cool.
We were talking about that this morning because I worked at a coffee shop kind of the beginning of the pandemic until about July. And the coffee shop I worked at, it was in Ypsilanti. We sell alcohol too. And most of the reason why the coffee shop owner said we were surviving was the alcohol sales. Interesting enough.
So you had carryouts to go for cocktail?
Yeah, we had, we were doing batch beer. So we call them crowlers.
Yeah,
They're
crowlers.
32 ounce. Yeah,
so
32 ounce beer to go. So it was tapped beer, and we had a crowler machine, so it would kind of cap them for us, and we'd send that to go with people. And he had a lot of partnership with Michigan breweries too, so people could come and buy a 6-pack, order online, and he was trying to do within a mile radius delivery as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, but it's really good you're selling alcohol.
Yeah.
Everyone needs a little cocktail during these times.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I think it's super cool that, Brandon, it's cool to see that your business is growing. You're opening up a new location.
Yeah.
And you figured out, I know when we first moved in here, is you had dining in, and then you're like, hey, well, we can't have people dine in. We might as well use this space for storage. And I don't know what all you do with your previous dining space, but it's awesome to see how you've adapted, and then how, I don't know if you're thriving or not, but it's cool that you're opening up a new location and you're saying hey, this is my vision.
Yeah.
No matter what the circumstances are, it's not going to stop me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let it slow me down.
Yeah.
And you're just moving forward. We were walking through downtown Milford and we're like, Novellas is opening a new place? How cool is that? So let's talk about that a little bit. What's your history with your business? How'd you get into it? When did you get started, and where do you see yourself going?
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. We're really excited for Milford. Nervous, wouldn't even begin to describe it, but we're very, very excited about it and can't wait for it to happen. But for me personally, before I went to school, and then after school, I got a job with Ocean Prime, like a Cameron Mitchell Restaurant Group, and I was the general manager of Ocean Prime for 5 years, and I traveled around the country opening up the restaurants for them.
Sweet.
I was in Miami, Tampa, Dallas, before that Milwaukee, Columbus for a little bit, and then I wanted to move back home, and I took a job with J. Alexander's, and I was in Nashville, Tennessee for a little while, and then I came up here, and I ran general manager of West Bloomfield for 6 years, and I've always wanted to do the Novellas Pizza brand. I never had a name for it. I just knew I wanted to do like a really cool pizza place that used some different outside the box toppings. And being around the country, I saw a couple places that were really cool, different cuisine that you could, and I thought, hey, you know what, whatever kind of dish it is, you could probably deconstruct and put on a pizza. So that's what we did here. Novella is my middle kid's name.
Oh, okay,
it's my
cool.
daughter's name. I have a great aunt Novella as well. And, the pandemic hit. It was very scary. Whether you didn't know if you were going to get sick going to work that day. I didn't know if we should close down for the day. I want to put my 3 kids, I want to put them in jeopardy, and my wife. And it was just a lot of uneasiness. Then you just kind of realize, well, this is like what I signed up for, and we're allowed to continue to be open, and we could transition into carry out better than most places can. And that's what we did. And then my daughter was going to the Milford YMCA for day camp in the summer, and the Blue Grill used to be right in downtown Milford, and I knew they had just closed. And I saw a for lease sign on the window, and I pulled over, and I've always wanted to be in Milford, and we were not in a position to open another restaurant. Mm-hmm. And I just called the number, and I hit it off with the landlord, and there's other people looking at it, and we kind of, the local bank ended up being a huge fan of ours, and we were able to make a deal with them. And next thing you know, we're opening hopefully in the next month. But yeah, our vision is, the vision for us is we want, we never wanted it to just be one place, restaurant. We do want to be a family-owned business, but we do want to grow. Yeah. And we want to provide opportunities. There's just so many things that we want to do. And I tell like my staff all the time, like, we own this place, so we could literally do whatever we want. Yeah. And I've always kind of wanted to be able to do that and implement some cool employee things and some cool culinary things and provide opportunities. Like I had, when I was 23 years old, and the owner of the company was like, if you, act like an owner, I'll make you an owner. And I've always kind of wanted to do that, for my business as well. And so, yeah, we're really excited. We're about a month out, hopefully. It's been hard to get certain things in, especially if you're getting it from like out of state. It's been a challenge, but I got a lot of great help. So I got a great general contractor. Lee is unbelievable. My partner, Dan Tresco, has been great throughout this. And of course, my wife and the kids are super excited. And my daughter Novella was disappointed when she heard that we hired a chef. Oh, yeah. Because she thought that was going to be her role, but she's 4 years old, so she got a couple years.
She's got some time to work into it.
She got to develop a little bit. But yeah, we're really excited and nervous.
Exciting and nervous. Yeah, I think we were just talking about how both of those feelings are kind of like the same as far as your body reacts to them in a similar way, with your heart rate goes up and you're like, oh no. Yeah. But it's awesome that you're able to pursue your vision, and sounds like you've worked your entire life to be doing what you're doing. And so
when it first started, I was talking to some friends and I was like, this is like a terrible time to open another restaurant probably before we signed the deal. And I was like, but it also could be a great time to do it, and we'll see, how that works out. And we're gonna have a lot more seating than here. We're gonna have a full bar, so it's gonna be a bigger concept. But it's a little crazy right now, but it could be a good time to do it. We'll see. You've
got to have faith in your vision, and even with you seeing that building was for lease and pulling over and making that phone call, being curious enough, even though you're like, everything would tell me that I can't do this right now. You started the conversation and you made it happen. So that's awesome.
That's the hardest part, is like starting it with somebody. I tell that to people all the time. It's like, how many times have you not made that phone call? Or how many times have you not taken that meeting or not taken that podcast? Who knows? And my wife was, and she'll agree to this, when I told her I was going to meet the landlord the next day, she was like, why are you wasting your time? We have so much going on. We can't open another restaurant right now. I was like, I just want to know what they're charging per square foot. I want to see what's in there. I want to see what the guts look like. And I want to meet the landlord, who I knew was a famous chef. I was like, I want to talk to this guy. And so I'm definitely going to take that meeting, and here we are.
There you go. It's working out for you.
Yeah.
That's exciting. And so do you have a date yet that you're launching?
It was supposed to be November. It's probably a blessing that it wasn't, I guess, at this point. But we're hoping that it'll be, middle of February, around Valentine's Day.
Cool.
It could be before that. It could also be after that. Getting a pizza oven was difficult, the one that we wanted. The most of those come from New York, and that was a challenge. And then even like getting a mixer was hard. Like getting stuff was hard for the restaurant, equipment-wise.
All the supplies and stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we got it.
Hey, way to make it happen.
It's on the way.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, and then how about you, Gino? You know, what he's describing is you were there just this summer.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we acquired this business in February, not knowing that this pandemic was going to come to life and became a reality. And when we acquired it in February, we didn't get to open until August 11th of last year. And, you know, we're not going to postpone what we wanted to do. You know what I mean? It's our livelihood, you know, and we're the craziest ones that opened during a pandemic, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, we're still thankful. We're still being busy, and the opportunity is still there to grow. I mean, we plan on, you know, opening another location and then franchising. That's our big hope, because we have one in Howell.
Okay.
So because of how successful Howell is, we just found this location. I mean, it took a year to get here. Mm-hmm. It just happened to be during the pandemic. But we opened this location. It was nice. It's like we're an upscale bar. You know, we're pretty modern. We're like a red coat. Yeah, that's who we were like portraying basically. Mm-hmm. We got the TVs. We got, you know, the fine liquor. Especially when you go, we try to be exclusive. We got liquor that, you know, if you go to other restaurants, some restaurants won't have that. So, you know, and we just want to get through this hard time and open up another location. I mean, we have a lot of locations in mind, and then we want to franchise. And, you know, before all this, I was in logistics. So I was in logistics for 10 years. I used to work for Capstone Logistics in Novi. And then it's me and my father-in-law, his nephew, and my brother-in-law in this restaurant. So we're all partners. And one day I was like, you know what? I just got fed up with the logistics company, because, you know, it's just a labor force company. Everything's just manual work. Like, your body's a machine, you're a robot. So I was in that for 10 years, and I just told my father-in-law, because he owns the Jonah's Markets in Westland. You know, he has one in Plymouth, he has one in Howell. So, and he's pretty business savvy. So, you know, I'm like, let's look for business. And, you know, me, I can adapt to anything, or as I try to adapt to anything. So, you know, going from a manual labor job to, you know, putting pizza in the oven,
a little different.
Yeah. So we just kept looking, and then we stumbled upon this place when it was Tucker's Kitchen, and then we just renovated a little bit, and, you know, we just opened the doors, and we just got a flock of customers.
Yeah. And when you say renovated a little bit, you totally renovated everything. It looks amazing.
It's so beautiful. Like, when you call yourself an upscale bar, you really are. I mean, you got beautiful lighting and backwash. Is that what it is? You know, the tile.
Backsplash.
Yeah, backsplash.
Yeah, so it's
beautiful.
It's mirroring the same. It's mirroring Howell's location. So we just want to be the same. And, you know, there's so many ideas. So when we open up another location, we're like, okay, we didn't put that there, let's put that there. So that's what we want to do. And, you know, I'm just blessed to, you know, be a business owner and to, you know, be able to overcome these expectations that are brought upon us. So, you know, that's what we're good for. Especially, you know, a business owner knows what he needs to do.
Yeah. Is Larry your dad or your father-in-law?
No, Larry is not my dad or father.
Okay.
Larry is an adopted grandfather.
Oh, Larry is great. Larry's came in here a couple times.
He's helped us with some stuff. We got to chat with him.
When they were getting ready to open, Larry was everywhere, just all around this building, doing whatever he had to do.
Yeah, he's our like maintenance guy, especially when I have something going wrong inside the building. You know, I contact him, and then he'll like, okay, give me Dan's number, the landlord. And I was like, okay, no problem. He calls Dan, and like, they're on the phone for like a half hour. I'm like, what did he say? He said, we didn't even talk about what I'm like, what? And I'm like, oh, okay. He called back and actually talked about what we need done.
That's great.
Yeah. So it's, he's a good guy. He's like the mechanic. He helps out around all like, like the businesses that the Jonnas own.
Yeah.
And he's really good with his hands. I mean, he's been working for, I think, Lowe's or Home Depot for like, I don't know, 20 years. But the thing about Larry, he used to be a figure skater. He used to, he has an Olympic gold medal and all that stuff.
I would never guess that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's funny. So we had some we have good laughs and stuff like that. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. When he comes in there, man, but he talks to me like I'm his son.
Yeah, well, he's
he's a good guy.
tough. He's like a tough guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, yeah.
Yeah, that's so cool. No, I love that. And, you know, I admire you both. And I didn't know if you two talk much or not. But, like, I just observe a lot because, you know, we're really close.
Yeah, of course.
And I just observe a lot. And I observe you're always back and forth, you know, taking trash out. And you've got a whole team in there. And, you know, the couple months you got to be open, it was so packed. Mm-hmm. It was so packed. I thought we needed a new parking lot.
Yeah. I mean, the Lyon Township, Patricia, the Lyon Township supervisor, she was telling me that they're trying to acquire that small parcel over there with that building right across the street to expand the parking lot.
Perfect.
And to, I don't know what they're about, maybe purchasing that house over there, and then they own this house over there. So they want to, because I told them, like, you know, this parking lot is not big for the plaza. Mm-mm. And she was like, yeah. I'm like, especially when we get over this hump and we open, and, you know, we're at half capacity. I don't even have tables in there. I have them stored somewhere else. I got more tables and chairs. Yeah. And I can just rearrange that area to put more customers inside. Yeah. So when we go to open back up, I just feel like we're going to be packed, like more than what we used to be before we had this shutdown.
Yeah.
So yeah, people are going to be excited to get out, and they're going to want to go to your place or go to get some pizza and dine in and everything. And it's going to be nice to be able to do that again.
Kind of leads me to my next curiosity. You never opened inside, and do you want to talk about that a little bit too? Because I thought that was a really cool thing that you were like, yeah, I know we could, but I don't know if we're going to do that. Yeah,
that decision, I just kind of took the pulse of the staff. You know, that's the most important thing is the employees. But yeah, when it first started and there was so much uncertainty surrounding what was going on, we, you know, closed the front and back doors, right? We propped the middle door open and put a table there for, just for, you know, carry out, like a window, almost like a drive-through window, which the first I was so nervous about it. And then the first couple, I thought the guests were going to be like, what is, you know, you miss that personal interaction, which, you know, you really like. And, the first few people that came up were like, oh, thanks for doing this, you know. And then my biggest concern also was when it first happened, the mask thing, that people were just like refusing. And you hear like, I have like 16-year-olds, I have a 15-year-old, I have 17-year-olds. The last thing I wanted for them, if I wasn't there, was somebody attacking them, you know, making them tell a grown adult like, hey, you got to do this, you know. And I'd be like, whoa, and that would blow up. So we just eliminated the threat, and that's how we did it. Then when you could open up the dining, you know, we don't need the dining as much as, you know, like Jonna's, you know, and you have that beautiful bar and you have that beautiful dining room. You know, for us, like, we really like it, and for lunch, it's really good for us. But a lot of the businesses were closed for lunch up and down Grand River, and so our lunch business did suffer, and it just wasn't worth the hassle, it seems like. And we had 2 tables we put up front for like a couple weeks, because I knew there was a couple group of people that were going to come in for lunch every other day or so, and we allowed them to do that. But we definitely didn't promote it, you know. And but yeah, that was a tough decision. We had to go back and forth about that, because customer service and having that interaction is a big part of the business, and that's something that separates you. If you're at a pizza place or whatever you are, you know, there has to be a couple separators. You know, the quality of food for sure, and the service and that guest interaction. And I was nervous about that. But yeah, that was a decision we made, and we haven't had dine-in, I guess probably since March, you know, whenever they closed it down the first time. So it's going to come on a year with no dine-in. My wife and I were talking last night. We're talking about Milford, and I was like, well, what are we going to do in New Hudson? Like, in 2 weeks, dine-in is going live again, and half of my staff doesn't know what that looks like inside our restaurant, and they don't know what plates to put stuff on. And so we're going to have to go through a retrain. And then, you know, and kind of figure out the direction for this location and what that's going to look like. But that is what makes me nervous for I'm excited. I mean, February 1st can't come soon enough, but for our business, I'm kind of nervous about it. For everyone else's business, I'm through the moon about it. I can't wait to go everywhere.
Yeah,
I'm probably gonna spend a lot of money here. Real soon.
Yeah, I was telling my wife the other day.
Too.
I was telling my wife I want to go, out of the state and stuff like that, but it's just so difficult to go out of the state. We want to try other restaurants because we have a restaurant. We're like, okay, let's go here, let's go there, let's see what they got, let's try, some new things, be unique a little bit. But to touch base on your restaurant when it opens up, and you're talking about training your staff on like servers and stuff like that. You and your wife should just dine in at your place and let them serve you.
I know. We're gonna have to do something like that.
Yeah, just implement something where it's like, okay,
do a little practice dinner.
Yeah, practice dinner.
I know.
It's a good idea.
I love that. That's a good treat too.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Plus, like when you own a business, like you are serving all day, every day. You're serving people, so it's like a really great escape to go somewhere and have a server, and you always take care of them, but it's just nice to relax. And when you're serving people all day or making food all day, the last thing you want to do after making food all day is go home and cook. You want someone to cook for you. You're gonna order carry out, and I think we're just like really starving to get out somewhere and eat indoors.
Yeah,
I've eaten outdoor a couple of times. It's a little chilly, but we'll still do it. I don't care. Like I'll hold around the fire or a heater and enjoy myself. But
I mean, that's another interesting thing. You've both hired during this pandemic, and then for your perspective, you hired, and then you guys weren't allowed indoor seating too. How did that look with your staff when you knew you couldn't be inside anymore?
I mean, it sucks to say that you have to contact all your employees to make sure you keep that bond, that relationship that you have from the beginning when you opened up. And so like there's a few people that are not going to be with Jonna's when we open back up, to dine in, because they're looking for other alternatives, because they have to make money, they have bills to pay. What are they going to do? Come in, work once a week, and when we open back up, we'll reach out to them and see if they're okay, if they're happy with their new job, or they're happy with their new gig, or whatnot, and see if they want to come back and work for Jonna's. But we got about, I think, 12. We have 12 servers, and some of those servers are cross-trained to be bartenders as well. So, I mean, when we open back up, I really have no worries, because I do still have a full staff. Actually, I've overstaffed, just so when we open back up, we're ready to accommodate all the customers that come in and provide the best quality of service.
Yeah. I bet you're excited.
I've been excited because you know what? Every time it gets extended, all I hear is 2 weeks. I'm like,
I know.
Let's just open up, and then we gotta be optimistic. So
Yeah, I get
And it sounds
that.
like you are optimistic. Both of you are optimistic, because no matter what's been happening during the pandemic, is you're still growing, you're still opening a new location, and you're still talking about opening up new locations and continuing to grow and to build your business. And that's definitely an entrepreneur mindset, and so I can respect that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I think if there's one last thing I want to touch on too, it would be, what it's like for you to now begin cooking after 10 years of doing manual labor, and now you kind of get to release a more creative side of you in the kitchen.
Yeah. So I got trained in Howell. So I went there. They have a good chef, and he just showed me the ropes. And they have a recipe book, so I follow all the recipes, and I just apply myself to all that stuff. Like, you got to be one with the food. You got to, when you're holding the pot, you are the pot. Stuff like that. And to make you guys laugh, I go home. My wife's like, "What are you gonna cook for me?" I'm like, "What?" Because I never cook at home. I'm like, just what do you want? I'm gonna grab the menu from Jonna's, and then I'll go buy the ingredients. I'll make it at home.
Bring your home a to-go box.
Bring your recipe book home with you.
I know, right?
What do you want?
Yeah, but for me, it wasn't as difficult as I thought it was going to be. I was nervous at first, like, oh my God, I'm gonna be bad. I'm not gonna know what to do. And next thing you know, you have the people that surround you. They show the love and affection towards this business, and they're like, since you're part of this business, your family now, we're going to make sure you don't fail. We're going to give you the tools necessary to be successful in this next location. And that's what they did. They provide me everything. And, if I stumble upon something, it's just an obstacle. I just make a phone call, like, do this, do that. And then that's it. I sound like it's simple. It's not. But but the people in Howell will take care of us.
It sounds like they set you up for success.
Of course,
because they care about you and they care about it's their business as well, right? Your partners in
exactly. They give you the blueprint for success. That's basically what it is.
And you have the discipline to say like, okay, I can do this. It's going to be a little hairy at the beginning. I'm going to have to learn a lot. Going to have to like burn some food, but that's all part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
We've reached time, but I have one more question. So if you need to head out, we can say goodbye. But if not, you used to do events, and I wondered like how fun to do pizza events, and you'd win, and now all that's closed too. So do you want to talk a little bit about that journey of doing pizza events?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's really been a big boost for our business, and that is that really drove us through our first year of business. Really, like opening in here with without having a brand name, everyone was kind of like, what is this place? And people would come in for food, and they wouldn't quite understand like what we were doing. And there wasn't a whole lot of like craft pizza around here. There is definitely some in Michigan, but like there's not a lot around here. And we're cooking at 800 degrees, so we got char on the pizza, and people are like it was an interesting transition. And but my wife and I really like going to Las Vegas. It's kind of like where it started. And we were watching the show on AMC called The Pizza Show. The guy, Frank Pinello, who I really look up to, and I love this guy. He is a pizza guy. He goes around different pizza places around the country and just like talks to the owner, hangs out for a couple of days. It's a really cool show. Anyways, he did his broadcast from the Pizza Expo in Las Vegas, which is they also host the International Pizza Challenge, which is a world championship for pizza cooking. And I wanted to go to Vegas. We could try to go every year. My wife and we started looking it up, like, what's this all about? And then we're just like literally laying on the couch one night watching TV, and I looked it up, like, hey, there's like a Michigan Pizza Challenge hosted by the Michigan Restaurant Association that most people get invited to participate, but you could like submit an application to participate. And if you win that, you get a free trip to Vegas to compete in Vegas.
Okay.
So we're like, well, my wife said the only way we're going to Vegas this year is if you get a free trip to Las Vegas. And so I submitted an application to compete in this, and they accept it. And there was like, I don't know, it was like 20 or 25 pizzerias. And I go in there, and we were going to do a Michigan cherry pizza. That was the plan. And the night before, I was by myself at the restaurant, just kind of like overthinking things. And I said, all right, we're going to do the fig and pig. Like, that is more craft for us. We make everything on there except for the figs. And so like, this is more like artistic in my opinion. And so the next day was a pizza competition, and I go there, and it was just me. Like, my wife was working, she had a job, and so she was like gone. And I'm there at the competition, and all the big pizzerias that like I was hoping would not be there were there. And I like knew who most of these people were. I was a bit of a pizza nerd, I'm like, oh, that's the place in Lansing that did this, and they finished 6th in the world last year. And then this is this place in Grand Rapids. I was really hoping they wouldn't be here. And then like all the big names were there. And so you cook, and again, everybody has like an entourage. Everyone's got like a couple staff members with them. And I had like a Sam Adams cooler because my wife worked for Sam Adams, and I was like carrying it around like this. And I cooked. And I started seeing the other people cook, and I'm like, the pizza looks good, but I don't think it's better than ours. Like, it's really good. Taste them, they're awesome. Like, but I think ours is like pretty comparable. And I called my wife, and I was like, maybe you should come up here. Like, there's like a lot going on. It's like a big stage. There's like 4 or 5 ovens. There's a lot of people here. I kind of feel like left out. I'm not talking to anybody. And
you're like the loner with the cooler.
I was like, standing there, like walking around.
This guy thinks he's at a tailgate.
Exactly. Everyone had like carts and stuff. And I was like walking around the expo just like to like kill time, and so I didn't look like super pathetic. I tried to like come back when someone's pizza would come up so I could try it, and I kept doing that. And I was like, their pizzas all tasted good, but I feel like ours might look a little better. And so I called him, like, you should like try to get up here. Like, I feel like you should be here. I feel like someone should be here, Yeah. And so she was like somewhere. She was like somewhere like an hour or two away. She's like, I can't be there. So she called my sister. My sister's local, and I think she felt bad. So she came up there, and I cooked in the first round, and then they take 4 people to the finals, and I was going to go to the finals. And so eventually, like, my wife like shows up, and so it's her and I, and we competed against these 3 people who like I'm still friends with today, and so we won first place for the fig and pig, and you get a trophy and you get a free trip to Vegas.
Sweet.
And so they announced like the winner, and it was just like my wife was like in the back, just like cheering, you know, like screaming. Woo-hoo. It was crazy. And so we got invited, and then like a local paper picked up the story, and that really helped out quite a bit. And then we went to Las Vegas to compete, and there's like 215 pizzerias from around the world that compete, and they were all like, everyone there knows each other. You know, they're like, and again, it was like me being kind of left out, and but I made a lot of great connections, and we competed, we cooked. And that place is intense. There's like grandstands. I mean, it's the biggest pizza expo in the world.
Yeah.
And there's like, I mean, it's being broadcasted on like Food Network or whatever, and there's like people everywhere. And we cooked. I thought I did a pretty good job for the first time there. And then we didn't find the results till the next morning. And we're sitting at brunch, and we kept checking. And then she goes, "Oh, the results are here." I'm like, "Oh gosh, what is it?" It could have been like last place, or it could have been first place. I didn't know. And we finished 12th in the world. So
That's
like,
awesome.
Wow.
and I was like super bummed. And she's like, "I know you do not like this right now, but you're gonna be really happy about this like in a few weeks." And so we got back, and then I got interviewed by a paper. And then it was like a Tuesday night, and which was not very busy for us. And it's like we were just slammed, like we're smoked. And I'm like, "What's going on?" It's like fig and pig. I mean, what is happening? And I look at my phone like a couple hours later, and I was like, "Hey, I saw the article." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" So like that really helped out and kind of put like our name on the street a little bit. And then I got like invited to be on the United States Pizza team. So like we compete with them. So I've competed with them a few times since then, and we'll travel around. We haven't had a chance to do it yet because of the pandemic, but we will travel around the world to compete in Italy, Spain, France, all over the place. America, going back to Vegas hopefully in June to compete. And when you go out there, you're around like the U.S. Pizza team is like 30 or 40 individuals who are just the best. Like these people are crazy next level. And if you even just going there and watch them cook, if you didn't cook, you would just learn so much. And they and I'm on a network, you know, a constant text stream with all of them. So I had a problem with my dough. I just put it out there, and you get like 10 people to respond to you. You know, you go to a different city, and you have a friend there always that you can go and, you know, eat their pizza and check out their restaurant. And for this location especially, it's been huge, just like leaning on those people. A lot of those people have like 20, 30 restaurants. So it's like, you want to ask somebody a question about how to do something, you know, they have the answer. And some have one or two, and they're like just happy with that and really good at that. So
yeah, that's so beautiful.
Long story, but that was how it happened for us.
And it's sweet that you were able to make friends and build that community through actually doing that. And you had faith in yourself. Even you went by yourself. You're like, that would be nerve-wracking, man.
Yeah,
but you did it.
I was competing against this person. They had like two things, or they're emceeing the first one in Michigan. I don't remember who I was going against in the first round, and they were like interviewing them, like, "How long have you been doing this?" He's like, "I've been making pizzas for like 15 years. My dad had a shop. Now I have a shop. Over to you." I'm like 6 months in. Like, and before we opened Novellas, I have never made a pizza in my life, like except for like in my house. And so it was like, I was in over my head at that point. But it was pretty cool. It worked out pretty well. So
if that's not a good reminder that, like, for motivation for anybody to say, even if you don't have experience, you can still learn it. You both learned by doing it, by saying like, you know what, I want to do this thing. I care enough about it. I have faith in my ability to do it. I'm just going to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I've got time to learn.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so few people are just terrified to do that. Something that we try to always encourage people to do is like, hey, if you feel like you are called to do that thing, try it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to regret it if you don't. So just do it right now, get it over with, and then you get to start to enjoy it. And that's the fun stuff.
Exactly. What's the worst that happens?
Exactly.
You know, the worst thing happens here, nobody knows I'm here. I didn't tell anybody I was gone. Like, my family doesn't know. Nobody knows because I could finish dead last. I don't want to even put that out there. Or you could get a free trip to Vegas.
Yeah.
And you get a free trip to Vegas, and that works out. So yeah, how many times do people not take that leap?
That's impressive.
Yeah.
It was fun.
I have to try the fig and pig pizza now.
It's our most popular
You need
pizza.
it with the vegan cheese.
Yeah, vegan cheese.
Yeah, and cauliflower crust. He's a little.
You can do that.
He's special. His stomach.
You can do that for sure.
No, yeah, like it's funny because you look at this corner, and I before I met Bill, I'd never heard of New Hudson, Michigan, and so he's like, "Yeah, my studio's in New Hudson." I'm like, "Where is that?" And then he takes me here, and I like see the town. I'm like, "What is this corner? Like, huge building, you know, looks like there's a broken down bar that's actually thriving. Like, you know, there's all this crazy stuff." And then I tried the food, and it's like between your two restaurants and the New Hudson Inn too, like this corner is awesome. And then my mom comes, she visits, she's checking out our studio, same thing. She goes, "Oh, so where are we gonna go to eat?" She's thinking we're gonna drive 20 minutes out of town, and I'm like, we're going to Jonna's, and you know, we're in there, and luckily we got to still sit down. I think it was the last week of sit down dining, and you know, we both got a burger, and she was so happy. She's just like, "This is really good. Your dad would love it here," and you know, it's pretty proud. I was pretty proud to be like, I work in the building right next door to that one and that one, and you know, the Ross mortgage team comes in, and they do a lot of filming with us, and right away they're like, "Is it Novellas or Jonna's today?" Like they're just stoked. And so
next thing you gotta do a combination of both.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
it's a good corner, and the food, like Jonna's does a really good job. Like it's just real people making real food.
Yep.
You know, you don't see that in every
with real
restaurant you go to.
families.
With real families behind it, like, and real people. You go there and like Gino's there, you know, or you come to our place and I'm there, or our manager Joe now is there more. And it's like, you know, it's like a real person who like made that food.
Exactly. You have a passion for it, you know, nothing like anything we do really doesn't come frozen. It's fresh. So it's like, you know, and being an owner, you're at your own business, you know it's going to be good because it's like you're the quality.
Yeah.
Your food represents yourself.
Yeah.
Your team represents yourself. It's a reflection of yourself and who you are. So if somebody doesn't like the food, it's like, you know, it's on you. It's on me, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how we operate. And it's going to be difficult when we get into the location and have to step away and then focus on that location or whatnot. And, you know, so now I have to cut myself in half and figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure out how to take the best parts of you and find somebody else who has that same passion and purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Be able to train them up just like other people trained you up to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're here for the long haul.
Yeah.
This is not no 1, 2 to 3 year business. We're here for God knows how long. We plan on being here until probably, who knows, it could be 30 years, 40 years down the line. You know, this is our baby, and we're gonna stick with it.
Yeah.
And plus, all the customers and the Milford News, all that put us out there and made us known to South Lyon, you know, and brought us all these loyal customers, and you know, thanking us for being here and bringing the quality service that they didn't have before. It makes the world to us, you know. It's everything. So, and to be a proud owner of Jonna's Bar and Grill means a lot to me and my family, and also to be to make my partners proud as well, because you know it's a lot to handle. You know, you know, I don't know. I mean, if you're an individual owner, right? So basically, you know, you don't got a lot of pressure on you. As far as like, you know, people counting on you. So besides your family, because you know you got to pay the bills. You know, you got to make sure you take care of your loved ones.
The hardest part about that is like, I live in New Hudson, which is not a hard part. It's a great part. But like, I mean, it was the first year and a half we were open. Like, I'd go somewhere and people would be like, "Oh, so what do you do?" And I'd say, "Oh, I own a restaurant." "Which restaurant? It's New Hudson. What is it called?" "Novellas Pizza." Like, "I live in New Hudson. Never heard of it." Like, wow, awesome. And but now more people know about it. So like, someone's like, "Oh, I had your pizza last night." I'm like, it's like you get instantly just like your stomach drops. Like, yeah, you know, it's great. You know, my staff is unbelievable, but it's still like it's in your mind. It's like, you know, and it's all over. But yeah, it's like,
how was it?
How was it? How was it? Yeah, how was dinner? And you're like, oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like that. Like that is the pressure that I feel, along with like, you know, feeding the kids and stuff. You know, paying your bills. But you know, luckily my wife works really hard and does a good job too, so that helps out. But yeah, having other partners, you know, and presents it's great, and it also has challenges, you know, and there's no like strict one way to do it. It's just, you know, it's just it's interesting.
I told you, you've got one employee who he looks like he's like basically like your little executive assistant. Like
he's our we're still trying to figure out his job title, because like he does so much. And so it's Joe. He's our only day oneer. He's been there since day one. And a weekend. You know, when you open a new restaurant, you have like half your staff quits in the first like 2 weeks. Like, or a couple people do. You know, you always overstaff because some people are like, I don't like this. Some people are like, well, I'd rather go to a party on Saturday and not work and whatever. And so Joe, after like a week, I think 2 or 3 people quit. He's like, can I talk to you? And I'm like, dude, don't. Like, I like this kid. He's the last hire. I didn't need him, but he came to me and I was like, I kind of like him, so I just hired him anyways. And he's like, I just feel like I want more responsibility. I was like, after, I mean, it was a 2 weeks in. I was like, oh my gosh, thank you, Lord, for that. And so, you know, my first company I worked for was Cameron Mitchell, and I really want to model our, you know, management style after that, where he has now like 50 restaurants, maybe more, probably more than that. And he sold off 30 restaurants. He's had over 100 restaurants probably. Anyways, his executive team is people who were there in his first 2 restaurants. You know, and that's like what I want to do. Like, our big plan is to have like 10 or 15 restaurants, and then Joe is the vice president of the company. You know, then our chef in Milford might be the director of culinary. You know, and those people who are here when it's really like bad, you know, who were there the first year when maybe we would sell like a pizza for lunch one day, you know, and those people that remember that and that were there and stuck with me, those are the people like Joe who's going to be running this, you know, company. Like, hey, what do you want your salary to be? You know, how many vacations do you want a year? You know, how do you want to do this? You can make the rules up because we're still growing with you, and you deserve it. You earned it. And those people who are with us now and who've been there since day one, especially, or day 2, or, you know, whatever, those are the people that are going to be with us in 10 years and sitting, you know, at the table and making the cool decisions. We're not there yet, but that's like what the plan is. And Joe is, he's the guy.
Yeah, and you can clearly define that 10-year away vision, which is so beautiful. I mean, just hearing that is like awesome. And I know Jonah's wants something very similar, and it's like,
of course,
sitting between you guys is so cool.
Yeah, it's always nice to have somebody that's loyal and dedicated to your business as much as you are, and they feel like they're part of your family. But I mean, like I said before, we gotta get through this pandemic because nobody wants to work right now.
Let's sell some food today first, and then
focus
but
on
you have
today.
to have that vision, or else like you don't, you know, it's never gonna happen.
Well, and I mean, you guys never stop. I feel like you don't stop working. You're here like 12 hours a day. I know that. Yeah, and you're here on the weekends.
Yeah, I mean, there was like a solid 2 years I was here 7 days a week, just like Gino, you know, is like working those hours, you know, and I didn't step out until we signed on in Milford, and then I talked to a guy in the pizza team in Atlanta, and he has 3 restaurants. He's like, you need to right now just like leave the restaurant. He's like, this staff, like they can do it. They can probably do it better without you anyways. Just like give them that, you know, rope, leash, and you know they'll run with it. You just have to have a few people, and so it's been the hardest thing in the world, you know, not being there and not checking the camera on my phone, or you know, checking sales every 15 minutes. You guys good? You know, that was the hardest thing, and you'll experience that here when you guys are going for your next one, and you're, you know, someone's got to be able to do it for you, and that's just like that is scary. That's some scary business right there, but they've done great. That's why my heart always thinks, how was dinner? You know, it's always like, you know, maybe you're lying to me, but I was like, no, it was unbelievable, this and that. And then you see someone put like a review online, or you get a picture online. It's like, or they post a picture on Facebook, and I'm like, hey, this person said this is the best pizza they ever had in their life. You could cook a better pizza than that. And he's like, yep, you're right. I'm like, okay, so we understand, you know, a little undercooked or whatever. Or it's like, hey, that's money. Like, that is, look at this person, put it on pizza. Or I got pizza last night, and I'm like, telling my wife, I'm like, look how good this pizza looks. And, you know, so they're crushing it. But yeah, Gino's there like nonstop. I'm never here when he's not there. It's kind of, I popped dinner yesterday just for a second, and he was not there. I was like, she's like, oh, he went to the post office. Like,
That's all right there.
It's like, he's back like a minute later.
Well, and Gino, you've got other people in there too, because I went in to ask you about the podcast yesterday, and when I walked out the back door, I didn't even know someone else was in the restaurant, and this other guy just like pops his head out the door and like kind of looks at me like, who's she? And I'm like, who are you? I was just talking to Gino.
That's you're talking about Mike.
Yeah.
He's one of my chefs. He's been in the restaurant industry for, I believe, over 50 years. He's old school.
Wow.
Yeah, so he knows his stuff. You know, he looks at me like, listen, kid, back up. Listen, this is how you toss an egg. And I'm like, what? He goes, just look. And then I'm like, okay, we do things a little bit different here. Just place it, flip it, that's it. You know, we don't need, you know, we're not on TV. You don't need to do tricks and stuff. We're good. You know?
Yeah.
We're all about timing.
Yeah. Timing. Yeah.
You have a good staff, though.
Yeah.
You have a solid staff.
Yeah, it took a long time to get that staff, but it's all about the interview, and then, you know, you have to interview.
But you opened in August.
Yeah, not that
We're
long.
supposed
You know
to be
what I
opening-
mean? I'm
we're
like, you're doing really good.
Yeah, we're supposed to be open in April. We're supposed to open in April and, already almost be a year in,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It takes way longer always. It's very frustrating, but
Yeah.
how long it takes to open a restaurant.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that
Yeah.
that are involved with opening a restaurant, especially now how strict it's going to be when you want to buy a new restaurant or acquire one, and it's a difficult process. Yeah, so
You got to have that growing mindset too, I think, to thrive. Is like you got to be like, okay, this is a phase, but we're going to have multiple locations. We're going to make it through. That growth mindset is essential, I think, for keeping a positive attitude.
yeah.
You have to, again, be able to, bend if you need to. What we're really excited about in Milford is we have, a lot of seats, but in the back, like attached to the kitchen, we're going to have a carry-out window. So you have a front door and a back door. The front door is a big parking lot, and the front door is on Main Street. And so in the back, if you come in, and we always want to do this anyways, but now, in case there's another, there can't be, but like if there ever was a situation like this, and we could not have dine-in, we want to make sure it's like seamless, because there's a lot of places out there. And credit to Jonna's because they thrive on you do carry out, but also like indoor. But a lot of people like them that you go on a third party, you adapted. A lot of places didn't adapt for that carry out, or they just completely shut down. I don't know how they're going to reopen. That would be very difficult.
Well, what a lot of people don't realize with restaurants is that when you do carry out, you are still buying a certain amount of perishable food and hoping that people are going to order it.
Yes.
Because you need to have a menu.
Yep.
But like, what if people don't order X, Y, and Z on your menu? That food doesn't stay fresh forever.
Yeah.
No, it does not. So, like for us, luckily we were able to tap into social media and use it to our advantage. So a lot of people would see, okay, we're gonna get Jonna's, and now they're doing cocktails to go. You can go to a liquor store and buy all the ingredients and make it, but what's better than going to a restaurant and getting it served to you, right?
Yeah.
So like we got like a little baggie. It looks like a Capri Sun for cocktails. That's what it looks
cool.
like. Yeah. So I got people coming in saying, "Let me get 5 of those bags, cocktails to go, and then let me get 5 Jonna
Those
burgers."
bags.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, let's do it.
You're like dealing bags.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right. Yeah. They're like, let me get 5 bags to go. I'm like, all right, I'll get you some cocktails to go. Don't worry. So yeah, so because all my servers that come in, they're also certified bartenders. So it's not like you can go like some restaurants where, some of them are not educated in bartending, where it's like, there's one server and then they got to make a phone call to somebody they know and say, hey, how do you make this? So literally, I'm very fortunate to have a good staff that know how to do everything, and they're still growing. So
Can you guys, when you do that, I was wondering, can you pre-make the cocktails in a bag? Like, could you just like make a bunch of them and then just have them ready to go? It's hard to tell, for instance.
Yeah, it's hard to tell because what if somebody wants something else and then now you're just sitting on that and then you have to keep it cold. So
The coffee shop I worked at, we made batch cocktails in kegs. So they were, full-size keg, and pretty much since it was batched, they dump a certain amount of everything in, and then with the keg tap, you just pour however much you need, and it's already mixed inside the keg, and you know it's going to taste consistent, and then it's the same cocktail, but there's 5 different types. So I loved that they thought of that idea, and we were doing that, and that was doing awesome.
We might do that in Milford now that you say that.
Tapped.
Right. That's why I got a notepad.
Yeah.
Tapped
You never know when
cocktails.
you're gonna need it.
The weirdest thing ever, because we had 36 taps, and he took a lot of pride in his craft beer. But then he was like, "Hey, none of you are bartenders. None of you know how to make cocktails, but I do. Yeah. I'm gonna make them in the kegs, and we're gonna connect it." It went so well.
That's
it went so well. And then when we were doing indoor stuff, we were just putting garnishes in the already pre-made mix. You add ice, garnish, and no one knows.
Yeah.
No one knows. Like.
Well, no one cares. I wouldn't. There's a place in Ann Arbor I get they batch out their old fashions and it comes like a hand pump.
Yep.
And I get it every single time.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of cool that they do that.
Yeah, we did old fashions. We did also because we had coffee, so we called them cold fashions. It was a cold brew old fashioned.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's a neat
Sounds
name.
like an awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. Anything last thing that you guys want to summarize? If you had anything to kind of say for people who might be listening, other restaurant owners out there, before we go.
Keep up the faith. you know, in your business. Don't let go. I mean, there's a lot of restaurants, like my vendors that come in, they'll tell me, you know, hey, this place has been open for 20, 30 years and now they're calling it quits. But to all the restaurants that's been through this tough time, just stay committed, stay open. I mean, this is your baby, you know? So
yeah, you gotta stay open.
You gotta stay open, yeah, because you're not only doing it for yourself, you're doing it for the customers that want to come back and bring their family and, you know, their friends and actually, you know, have a good memorable time, because memories do happen in restaurants. It really does, especially like, you know, for Valentine's Day, we want to promote something in our restaurant, especially you're gonna get a lot of couples, a lot of maybe older couples. You know, in Howell, what they do is like a contest, and they do like a kissing contest. Like not kissing, like there's like who?
No, that's different. I like that. Like, that's like so cool.
And then they get a big basket of flowers and chocolates and stuff like that, and some roses. So, you know, we try to be a unique restaurant. You know, come on, go with the times. So that's how we are. But just keep hope alive. You know, so don't give up on your passion for the restaurant business, and just hope that this ends and we can go back to seeing all the people that love coming and dining in and eating your wonderful food. So that's all I can say.
That's great.
For sure. And also, you know, for both of us, I think the community has been unbelievable. They're very supportive to ordering food and, you know, keeping it local, which is super important. But so many places closed. Like, I just never understood it. Like, I know it's hard and we thought about it. Like, I thought about it, you know, but like, just stay open and be flexible. You know, like if you don't have a third-party delivery service now, when you've reopened, or if you don't have a way to order online, one or the other, or both, I mean, you're not with the times. Like, I don't care what kind of restaurant it is. I don't care if it's like a sit-down steakhouse. Like, you should have like an online ordering carry-out menu.
Yeah. Did you recently start delivery?
We've had it.
Okay.
You know, but it has picked up. I do not like having it, right? But it's a necessary evil. I'm glad we do. We have some great drivers, but yeah, we have delivery, but we're also on, you know, a third party, which, you know, we use for lunch because we don't deliver at lunch. Yeah, you got to be flexible, and you have to, like, you know, and even in like some places, if you had a big menu, like shrink it down, but you got to stay open. You got to keep that positive momentum. And although this has been a rough year for a lot of people still are building positive memories, you know? And so like, if you can say, hey, we got Jonna's every Tuesday for their burger night or whatever, it's like, that'll be the thing forever. And the people, the kids that are like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old are going to remember that. Then they're going to come there for the next every week forever. And then when they have kids and they're around here, you know, if, you know, Jonna's, hey, let's go there for Tuesday. This is what we've done since I was a kid. They started during the pandemic. You know, I don't think you're going to lose that. You know, I think you're only going to gain from that. And, but you don't know that going into it. You learn that as you go, but that's kind of what I take it out of it. It's like you still are building memories, and people are building trust with you. And that's what we're here for in the first place. Really. So.
Yeah, I love that. We had pizza every Friday night at my house, and I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and we all can't wait to have our own kids and have pizza and movies every Friday night with ours. So
yeah, that's what you do.
Yeah.
We do pizza on Thursday night because I wouldn't dare to order pizza on a Friday night here. The staff would kill me. Like, seriously? Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I love that. Right.
Well, Brandon, Gino, it's been fun getting to know you guys a little bit better, and we always say hey in passing, and now we get to be a little closer friends, and I'm grateful that I got to learn more about your passion behind your craft in your stories, because it's always interesting. Like, it's easy to just like not realize all of the people behind the business and the passion behind the business and the story behind the business, because that's who we're supporting. That's like our customers will come in and they're supporting not just you, but your family, your team members, and your vision. And that's awesome.
I don't think we did a good enough job, and there's probably not time for it right now, but this place is awesome too. Like, and you guys are super cool. So thank you for doing what you do. And we talk, you know, often, but this is a really cool spot. And there's like more people than you would think work here, and it's cool. Like, this is a nice setup. And so kudos for you guys for reaching out and for like being getters. And also thank you guys for supporting us, like, and everybody in the area, because like you can feel it, that it's like, this isn't like a job today. This is like you guys coming to us saying like, hey, how can we like help you guys? And so we do appreciate it, because that does go a long way.
Yeah, I appreciate it as well. Thank you.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, so
happy to do it.
Yeah, thank you.
We're all about building each other up.
Brainstorming for a long time how to get you guys out there without like, you know, having to make you pay anything because you're restaurant owners, and that's too sensitive right now. I'd never want that. So I was like, wait, let's all do a podcast. That'd be so much fun.
Yeah. It is fun. It's really cool. It's really cool.
All right, sweet. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.